Welcome fans inside the Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Brian Bohl, joined by the head coach of the Hofstra softball team, Larissa Anderson. Coach, how's everything going?
Not bad, considering the weekend.
Well, you go 2-2 on the week. We'll get to the James Madison series, but first, the doubleheader sweep against Iona, lots of home runs, an offensive barrage. Just talk about the way that you were getting contributions 1 through 9 in the lineup.
And we were, and coming off the Towson series into that Iona series, we were swinging the bats very, very well, hitting to all fields. Some of our home runs were dead center, which was nice to see. And we were hitting all the way through the lineup, and it was a good outing. It was a very, very strong outing.
Corinne Bailey hits grand slams in each end of a doubleheader. Have you ever seen that?
No, I have never been a part of that. And it was great to see that she stayed in control. A lot of times hitters in those situations, when they do have runners in scoring position, they feel the need to hit, and it was great to see that she stayed in control. She waited for her pitch, and then being able to connect in those two situations was pretty outstanding.
And despite all the home runs, it seems like the team's approach didn't really change because you had a lot of extra base hits as well. And was that a positive too, that sometimes when the ball's going out, people tend to get a little more homer happy?
And they do. And it's one of the things I keep explaining to the team, that when hitters are hitting very well, the ball looks huge, and they feel like they can hit anything. So then hitters start to chase because they feel that they can hit anything when they're on fire. So hitters have a tendency to go in peaks, which is why a 300 hitter is usually in the Hall of Fame. You're not going to hit 700. And then once the ball gets big and you see everything, you start chasing out of the zone, and then you have to get back to basics. So it was good to see that how many runs we were able to produce, how many hits we were able to get, that despite what was happening on the field, we were hitting line drives up the middle. We weren't trying to pull everything out of the park, especially with the wind in our favor going to left field.
And Kim Smith, Michaela Transu, they both hitting home runs and driving in runs. How good is it to see from them to get their swing back to where it needs to be?
It is, and all the way through the lineup, we have home run potential. We don't have, big home run hitters that are going to hit, a lot of double-digit home runs. But everyone in our lineup, with the exception, obviously, of Chloe Fitzgerald, has the ability to hit a couple out of the park. And it was good to see that when the pitch is there, that they're able to connect, and they do have that power potential.
And you get some good pitching performances as well, and it's not the most optimal conditions with the wind blowing out. But just talk about Morgan Lashley and how even if she gives up a couple home runs, she's able to keep that confidence up and get those strikeouts and get the outs that she needs.
Morgan's been tough. She's been getting a lot of swing and misses, and that's when she's most effective. And you can tell that from the beginning of the game. If she's getting swing and misses in the early part of the game, I know she has good stuff that's going on in the strike zone. And her strength is she has that backdoor curve, her screwball, and then an outside curve, and which isn't conducive for the wind blowing out, but she's still able to get some key pop-ups, some key strikeouts in some situations that she's able to keep the hitters off balance. She throws a changeup every once in a while, will keep them off balance. And I always look when the wind is blowing out, I wonder, okay, is Morgan going to be that effective? Because the ball will be more put in play to the left side of the field, but she's able to get some of those key strikeouts, some pop-ups in some of those situations.
And this Saturday was obviously the matchup everyone was looking forward to, Hofstra James Madison. Even though it wasn't the results that you wanted, you had leads in both games, real back and forth. You saw how close the talent level was between the two schools. What did you take away from the weekend?
I'm disappointed. I'm extremely disappointed in the fact that we did have leads in both games, that we were unable to seal the deal. Our seniors have to step up, our upperclassmen have to step up. The biggest thing that we allowed to have happen is that in those 6th and the 7th inning of both games, we allowed the leadoff runner to get on base. We had some key errors that really hurt us, and then having some walks and some hit by pitches puts more pressure on everybody. And we really do have to step up and be able to close out some of those games. Over the weekend, I was looking at some of our stats, and out of 9 losses, and you have 10 with a tie, 6 we've had the lead, that we've blown the lead in those situations, and we got to be better than that.
Just for the freshmen as well, how valuable was it? They see where they need to be. This is one of the better teams in the conference, where their game needs to be to beat a team like this. Was that a positive, that it's their first experience at such a high-level conference game?
What I like with the freshmen is that they're consistent. That it really doesn't matter. They don't understand what is at stake yet. They go out, they're competing every single day. And they're very consistent in their play, no matter who they're playing, which I love. I love that I know what to get out of them, which is sometimes the hardest thing with freshmen, because this is such a new environment that sometimes they don't, they peak and valley. The freshmen that we have right now that are playing, they're very consistent in their performance, which makes it a lot easier for me to make sure that they're going to be in the lineup every day.
Sure. And after a very long homestand, go back on the road this week, doubleheader at Lehigh, and then back in conference play at Drexel. So just what are you looking to sustain from the hot play at home as you go on the road?
You know, Lehigh's a very, very good team, very strong in the Patriot League. Looking forward to going there. It's always tough to play there. They have a very deep ballpark. It's always windy, so obviously we're used to that being here on Long Island, but we got to make sure that we play our game. We got to get back to work this week. We have to make sure that we're continually to attack pitches in the strike zone. So we're going to do a lot of hitting this week, and then we're going to do some pressure defense, you know, getting them to be able to perform in that 7th inning, put a little bit more pressure on them so they don't feel that, oh, we only have to get 3 more outs. It's we got to get 1 out at a time and play 1 pitch at a time.
Sure. And Drexel looks a little bit improved too, so what are you just expecting out of them?
They're always tough. You know, every year that we've ever played them, they don't quit. They play all 7 innings as hard as they possibly can. They have no idea what the scoreboard says, you know, which makes the coach nervous. So we have to make sure that we continue to play throughout the entire game, which, you know, it doesn't matter what the scoreboard says. And Towson proved that, you know, we could have been up by 8-10 runs, it didn't matter, and they kept fighting at us, you know, even in that 7th inning. So we have to continue to fight through the entire game. There's no clock in our game, so we have to just make sure that we play all 7 innings as hard as we possibly can, and Drexel's going to be tough.
Great. Thanks, Coach, so much for the time, and fans, you can follow all the action of Hofstra softball right here on GoHofstra.com.